So this is a narrative and strategic game about football. And well, before talking, I will start playing. Okay, so into a new game here. The game is for desktop and mobiles. And you play as a manager of a team. You're actually you are a retired manager who was doing a comeback. And so you have to lead this team, which is called Calcister Assembled, through a league which is sort of like for sort of Champions League kind of, but it's all in a satire form and full with humor and references to the most ridiculous aspects of football. But anyway, the narrative is a real story and it has some meaning. And of course, you begin by talking with your cat. And
that's how a lot of days starts.
Yeah, you know. And you talk with your cat, and so you can meditate and also wonder what your current situation is. But be careful, because every choice that you make will have an influence on the way you lead your team and how the story will go on, and whether you're going along with karma or chaos, which are the two ways, and none of them is right or wrong. You can pick them, and this will have an influence on all the matches that you're going to play. So the game is a mixture of narrative, dialogues, and football matches, which are turn-based. We will get to those. So even this choice will make a difference in where we're going. I will go with imagination. And so after the cat is hungry by now, and he's right, or she's right actually. And so each time you complete a dialogue, you may win cards, and the cards will be of different kinds depending on choices you made. So in this case, we won a card for the offside trap, which you can use in matches, of course. And matches are very important to keep the story going, because otherwise, if you lose the matches and get fired, of course, the game ends. The game has 24 different endings, and but it's most important is to reach the end of the championship. Championship is a 10-team championship, so it will be 9 away, 9 home, so 18 weeks of championship. This is a little sort of cutscene that explains you how the game goes. The game has a little football emulator that will be showing you the actions that you made and determined, and we'll get to that through the gameplay. So there are many characters you have to deal with, and they represent the typical people that live around the world of football. So the president, the owner of the club, and the FIFA president, and ladies, and so on. So it's very important the first time you talk with the owner of the club, Mr. Aluminovic, you're also setting the standards against which you will be judged. So it seems like a casual choice, and also the tone that you use with talking with him will be important. It will influence things happening in the game. So, and of course, throughout the narrative, which will require more gameplay, which we won't go through, you will discover more and more things about your past and about where you want to go to. So this will influence your coaching style. I would say try new things. But then the most important thing is, what are your objectives for the year? This is like true football. You know, you have to, at the beginning of a championship, you have to say where you want to go, and you will be judged against this. Yeah. So this seems a casual choice, but it's actually very important. They will remember what you're doing. So again, we win cards depending on the choices that we make, and so we did. He wasn't very happy about that. And now the match part starts. So we got our cards, and the game has generated a new championship. There's a new championship every time you start a new adventure in it. And first of all, you pick the cards for the training. So the training cards will influence the dimensions of that you are influencing, the power dimensions of your team. Okay. So there are 10 such dimensions, and so in this case I chose one that is only goes to improve in the free kicks, which are quite important actually. So before the match you build the deck, which with the cards that you gained through the dialogues and the narrative. Usually you have more, you can bring up to 5 cards in the match. And this will be the sort of special moves that you can do during the match. And okay, so now we see Karma against Chaos. Now we're already taking a sort of Karma path here. And now the real matches start. And basically the game is balancing strain and with less or more risky actions. You have these 2 buttons and you always have to choose what to do. It looks very simple, but actually all the things I talked to you about, the dimensions, the card, the karma, the chaos, everything is taken into action. So the algorithm for determining what's happening is not random, but it takes everything it's in and also whether you're at home or you're away. What's the weather like? Because this will go into the British winter, so it starts snowing and raining all the time and so on. So the athletic condition is very important. So you're always the red team against the blue team. And so you have to always make this choice. So if you tackle, if you always use the risky choice, of course they change according to circumstances. If you tackle, you see the strain will be increasing. Now I didn't manage to get the ball control. So if you go passive defense, it's less likely to get the ball, but active defense is more likely that you get penalties because it's in the box now. Let's go with the active defense, and here it generates new action. This is not a movie, but this was really bad. So there's a Starman, So they're not, they offers lively command, and it's generated and different every time. And they usually mocking you and the other team, and sometimes there's a lot of action, sometimes not, because that's how football goes. Sometimes very little happens, and so in that case the supporters will start chanting or getting bored and things like this. So not only you have these two buttons for choosing which path to take. You see, when I use too much risk, it's blocking me possibility of using this. Not only, I'm also straining the team, so in the next match I may have a more tired team. So you have to consider all those. You can check those by opening the panel after each move, and we'll show you all the dimensions and what was the relationship in power, but what was the result. So we still control the ball, luckily. And we go with risk. Okay, now we have an opportunity. See, now we can go with team action or solo action. Now it's unblocked. We're really lucky because 49%. We just got it, and now it will be a new action. So let's see. Wow! Yes, not offside because we scored. Okay, and so on. So this is basically. So then you can play the cards. Let's use the offside track because we're winning the game, so maybe this could be useful to keep them far. And when you play a card, you shout in from the bench, so it's not immediately effective, but it may take 1 or 2 turns for the players to listen to you. Okay, now they listen. So we play the card. Oh, in this case it failed. Because maybe we didn't have enough karma. Because the players listen to you depends on how much personality you're expressing in the game. So you see also that's a way how the narrative talks with the matches. And so basically this is how the matches work. And then one thing I can show you, a cheat. These are the cheats, so they're not available in the real game. Just to end it quickly. So we ended the game and we won it. This is really bad cheating. And just to show you that there is the rituals. Football is full of rituals. Like after the match, you can decide whether to shake hands or not with the other, and this generates. It's called football drama. So it generates drama. And but always you have to. So this is the results, the standings. These are the 10 teams. And of course, you can play the game of trying to guess which of each of them actually is. There's also a German team, and Well, I won't tell you. It's actually leading. Anyway, so you have to meet the press.